Well, good morning, beautiful, and welcome to a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus. Let me see. It has been just a morning around here. How is your morning going today? We're going to spend about the next 45 minutes together enjoying some beauty on the outside and some beauty on the inside. Our foundation verse for this podcast is going to be Psalm 119, verse 11. I have hidden your word in my heart that I might not sin against you. All right, so we have been working our way through Psalm 34. And so last week we did verse 2. Let's see, I don't actually have verse 2 separated right now, but it's in there, so we can just say that together. Well, it'd be verse 1 and 2 together. I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise will continually be in my mouth. And then my soul makes its boast in the Lord. Let the humble hear and be glad. All right. So we're going to get that out of here. It has been a joy to be working through Psalm 34, hasn't it? And I know kind of our kickoff for that whole thing and what started this was the Brooklyn Tabernacle Choir's rendition of that song. Again, if you have not had a chance to watch that on YouTube, check the show notes. You'll see a link to that, and make sure that you take a look at that, because that is absolutely a marvelous version of that. I mean, you can't hardly say the verse without singing the words in your head to their version of it. So I would highly encourage that you do that. So I'm just going to have scrolling across the bottom of your screen my favorite verse, which is verse 8. Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. That is my favorite, verse 8 out of there. So I don't know why. It's just like my favorite section. So, let me know, what was your favorite verse out of this psalm that we've been working through? Now, I know we kind of stopped short because we stopped at verse 9, but go ahead and continue to learn that if you want to be able to say, you know what, I memorized the whole psalm. So, knock yourself out with that. All right. So we've got that scrolling across the bottom of our screen. And today our theme is going to be, I can't remember if I said green and orange and green, but it is going to be a green and orange. And we're going to be playing in the Culture 2 palette today. A beautiful palette, all different kinds of colors in there. So feel free to play with those as you want. Now, with this particular look that we're doing today, you can use really any two opposing colors. So you're going to need a neutral for the upper part of the lid, and then you're going to need two opposing colors. So for today, that's going to be orange and green. I also played with the idea of calling this TikTok, because you're kind of going back and forth with the colors, sort of like a TikTok board. So anyways, we're just going to have lots of fun with that. And I hear you all dinging away already. So let me get that chat over there. Yes. Good morning. Good to have you guys hanging out with me this morning. I know we're a little bit late getting started, but I pray that you can forgive me for that. So we are going to dive in here today. Today, we are going to be starting it all with our POREfessional primer. This is the matte primer. This is the new version that they just did. So we're going to give it a little bit of a shake and let that mix itself up. And then we are going to use just a blop of that. I guess my dad would have called it a scooshy. Okay, anyways, just going to use a little bit of that. Do that a little bit between the tip of your fingers. It does mattify kind of quickly, so don't do it between the fingers too long. And any place that you need to minimize pores, that you want to worry about oil control, maybe you get a little bit of shine, maybe you get a little bit of foundation separation, that is where you are going to put this bad boy. And you'll see as soon as you get it on, you can feel already that the skin is starting to get, it's maybe a tiny tacky, but really more, you can feel that matte starting. All right, so I got a little bit extra on my hand there, so we're gonna do that. Okay, so we are gonna be working with our Bye Bye Under Eye Concealer. I am the shade 11 Light Nude. You want this to be 1 to 2 shades lighter than what your foundation is. So whatever concealer it is that you're using, you're gonna do that. With this one, I think I'm near the end of this tube. So we're gonna have to work it out. I know y'all have done this before. Okay, maybe we can work it out down here. There we go. There we go. Okay, that is too much. Okay, so we're gonna do this. Use what you got. And we're going to go under the eye. And we're going to borrow from that pile there. I am going to go down the nose because I've got some redness going on there. I got some darkness up here. Yeah, that was a lot for today. That's okay. We'll use the brush to wipe some of it off. All right. And then I got redness on the top of the cheek. So we're going to use that as well over there. And that is going to just kind of even out your face so that when you put your foundation on, it can do its job more effectively with a level color playing field. I am going to be using, this is the It Cosmetics brush for Ulta, the airbrush for layering foundation brush. But this is 101. Yeah, 101. So we're going to use that. And we're just going to blend out that concealer. There we go. And we're going to get it up on that eyelid there. Have that be our primer for our eye. And then we're going to blend out under the eye. Working it right up to that lash line. And then we're going to blur it down to the cheek so that it can hide some of that redness we got going on there. Now for you, you might be covering acne scars. Maybe you don't have the darkness in the inside, but you have it on the bottom. Whatever that is for you, whatever it is that you want to conceal, that is what you're going to do with concealer. So that's just going to go to those places. Go ahead and do that now, whether you use a big fluffy brush or you like a more, let me see if I've got it over here, like a more concealer brush size, depending on the area that it is that you're covering. Go ahead and do that. And then we are going to grab our Lancome. This is the Teint Idole. This is the 225N for me. Super cool thing that I like about them, they make it easy to shade match. You've got the N's for the neutrals, the C for the colds, colds for the cools. You got W for the warms. So it makes you easy to identify what shade of foundation is going to be best for you. If you just honestly don't have a clue, go to someplace like Ulta or Sephora, and they can get you a shade match. They'll help you out with that. Let me think. There's also other lines like Fenty, also has like olive tones, peach tones. You get a little more of shade variation with those particular lines. So, you know, if you say to yourself, oh man, I'm so hard to shade match, then maybe a line like that is going to be a little bit better for you. Also like the Bobbi Brown, although Bobbi's not actually affiliated with that anymore, but the Bobbi Brown line does good with its shade diversity as well. Okay, so we're just going to do one pump of that to start out with. We're going to put it in big dots where it's going to go, and then we're going to blend it out. Okay, we're going to get right up into that hairline. And then we don't end up with that like ending line thing. We're going to blend out to our chin. And then up into the concealer. Once you get it about where you want it, you're going to kind of pounce it. And that's going to help you to not have any like streaking line things going on. There we go. Yes, you can use a beauty blender as well. Damp, dry, doesn't matter. Whatever you find is easiest for you. I think different foundations work better different ways. For me, the Lancome seems to do a little bit better with a brush. Don't really care for the Lancome with a damp beauty blender for sure. But your personal preference, your choice how you do it. All right, so we're going to cap that, and now we're going to set that. We are going to be using the Laura Mercier. This is the translucent, I think this is the Ultra Blur. Yeah, Ultra Blur setting powder. So you're just going to give that a little bit of a tap, get some of that in the reservoir there. I'm going to be using the Beauty Blender. This is the pointed puff thing they got. Love the pointy puff on this. Going to start out around the eyes. Just going to set that there. And because we are dealing with some pretty pigmented shadows today, if you want to leave a little extra under the eye so that you have something to sweep away if you have any fallout, that's probably a good idea. I'll come back and do that in just a minute. Yes, I know. I said before, there is no magic to the order in which you set your face, but I did go out of my normal order. So now we're going to go back where we should have, well, not should have, but usually start. There we go. And finally, set that cheek. And if you want, you can go ahead and grab a little extra. We're just gonna dab that on here like that. Then that way, if you have any fallout, you got something to blur away with it. You don't have to do that, but you can. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. All right, so we're gonna be using 2 brushes now. We are going to be using, this is actually a foundation brush. We're going to use this for the bronzer and this for the highlighter. This is a, I don't know, it's an It Cosmetics something. This is a MAC blush brush, just a traditional blush brush. We are going to be using the Hoola bronzer. Oh, we have now moved on to contouring. We're going to be using the Hoola bronzer. And we're going to start out with the flat side of this brush. And we're going to get the bronzer on there, and then we're going to turn it with that side up. We're going to go from the top of the ear to about right here, kind of even with the nose. And then up the side of your temple there. Going above where the hollow of your cheek is. And kind of a curving motion there. Still using that flat side, we're going to run right along that hairline. Now we're going to switch to the pointy side, or flat side? Anyways, that side. We're going to go from the ear to about the corner of the mouth, and we're going to go right under that jawline. Make sure that you got a neutral face while you do this. This is just going to accentuate that jawline. If you have a round face like me, this is going to give you the illusion of more jawline than what you actually have. Still using that side, we're going to go beside the nose, going to kind of narrow that down. And then under the tip. Just a little bit. I didn't even pull any extra bronzer on for that. All right, now we're going to switch to our highlighter. This is the Juvia's Place. This is the Tribe Highlighter Volume 3. And this does have a little bit of kind of shimmer to it. Not sparkle, just shimmer. So we're going to use the other side of that. And then we're going to go right across the top of our cheekbone right here. And then right beside the temple, right beside the brow. And then down the center of the face, making sure we especially hit that Cupid's bow. All right. Now, I know you know how much I love my Juvia's Place, but today we're switching to a different shadow. I mean, I'm blushed. Today we're going to be using Juvia's Place, but because we're playing with orange and green, we're going to be playing with the Volume 6. And that looks like that. Don't be scared, little friends. Okay, so grab your brush, and we're actually going to be, because of color, we're going to be in this one here. Now remember, these are very pigmented. So put on a little bit, and you can keep coming back and put more. If you get too much more on to start, now you got to wash your face and start all over again. So we're just going to go tap, tap, doop, doop. And that's going to get you a little bit on there. We're going to go between our bronzer and our highlighter. Oh, yeah. And then between the bronzer and the highlighter on the temple. Nice. We're going to get a little bit. We're going to go up here on the forehead, on the tip of the nose, on the chin. Man, that's so pretty. I don't do orange often, but wow. Okay. So let us look at our verse we've got scrolling across the bottom of the screen. I have chosen my favorite verse there. So it is, "Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the man whose trust in the Lord," I believe is how the end of that goes. Blessed is a man whose trust... Oh, I don't actually have that verse in here. That's why I'm like, what is going on here? Okay. Okay. That'll throw you for a loop. Okay, so let me go. Blessed is a man who makes his refuge in him. Okay. You start saying the verses and singing the song and you just get yourself all kind of out of whack, you know. I have shared before that one of the reasons why I chose to marry scripture memory with the makeup application is because I love those two things. I'm not very good. It's not natural for me with scripture memory. So I thought it'd be a great idea to help me to be better at it by doing it with you. So that is kind of what brought those two things together. So, okay, now that we've got our verse straightened out, let's go ahead and take a look at our lips. I'm going to be using two products today. I am using the Urban Decay. You can tell I like this one because it's kind of short. This is the Urban Decay 24/7 lip liner, and this is in the shade Bang, which is just a beautiful orange. And then we're going to be using, on top of that, this is the MAC Amplified Cream Lipstick, and this is the shade, okay, I don't know if you call it Morange or Morange, because it's orange with an M. So Morange. I think Morange sounds better. Anyways, whatever you want to call it. We're going to be doing that today. So Urban Decay, looks like my pencil needs a little bit of a sharpen. So we're going to give that. We want a little bit of a point on it, but not excessively so. So just give it a little bit of a trim. We're going to go right on the line of that lip. Here we go. I know today we didn't start in the Cupid's bow, which usually we do. It's okay. So now we're going to go to the Cupid's bow. Get you a nice little V going on in there, and then we're going to round that out to the corner. There you go. Now we're going to do that same thing. We're going to come in just to the inside of it. We're going to use just a little bit lighter of a pressure. There you go. And then just use your lips to kind of blur that together. This is going to help your lipstick to wear better, to not creep out into any fine lines and wrinkles, or if you have dry skin, whatever you got going on. Also, it will help your lipstick to wear longer. It just grabs better to lip liner. So now we're going to use the orange, and we're going to color those lips in. Man, I just love that color. There you go. Take a little bit of a look back. Make sure you like the shape. Both sides are even. Nice. There you go. So now we have a great orange lip, and that is going to match what we've got going on here. Here we go. Now we are going to dive into some fun. So what are we doing with our eyes today? I told you it was going to be orange and green, and we are playing with our Culture 2 palette. So this is what we've got going on here. We're going to be right here. We're going to be using the Shuku, and that's going to be on the upper part. Then we got the Batik. Where's Batik? There we go. That's going to be our green for today. Then we are going to be using Rivers. Rivers is where? Oh, Rivers is up here. That is going to be our orange that we are using for today. And then right on the inside of that corner, we're going to use Afro. Let me see, where did that bad boy go? Afro. Okay, there it is. Afro Beats. Excuse me. That's why I couldn't find it. We're going to use that on the inside corner. So we're going to need just a couple of brushes today. To start out with, you are going to use just an all-over fluffy brush. And we are going to begin in the color Shuku right here. So you're just going to get that brush, swirl it around. I'm going to go right up here. It's got a little bit of a color, but it's kind of a neutral. We're just going to get that right up here. If you need a different color for your skin tone, you're just looking for something that kind of blends in a little bit. Okay. Now we're going to need 2 shadow brushes. One is going to be green and the other one is going to be orange. So let me find just 2 plain old shadow brushes. There we go. So you're just going to use 2 brushes that are just a traditional shadow shape. We're going to use the flat side and the pointed side depending on what it is that we're doing. So here we go. We're going to start out by putting the orange in its place. So that is going to be Rivers. That's this one right here. And let me actually... There we go. So Rivers right here is what we're going to be using. So we're going to start out with the kind of the tip of that. And we're going to go on the outside here. And actually, I think I'm going to blend. I think I'm going to do a little Rivers with a little Masai, just so I can get a little more orange. Yeah, there we go. We're going to do about just above your brow bone. So let me just get this on a little bit, and we're going to look at there. When you open your eye and you look straight ahead, you want to be able to see that orange peeking above your eye crease. So whatever that means for your eye shape, that's what you want to do. You want to see that orange peeking out right over here. So we're just going to give kind of a, I guess kind of looks like a question. What do you call it? Like a comma. There you go. It's wider on the outside and then narrower on the inside. So we're going to start out with that. Again, mixing the Rivers and the Masai together. We're going to do that same thing on the other side. Looks like I got a little bit less Rivers on this side. So let me get some more Rivers. There we go. And don't worry, it's going to look a little until we blend it all together. So have no fear, have no fear. Okay, now we're going to take that same Rivers and Masai and we're going to put it on the lower right here. We're going to go from the corner of the eye. We're going to stay below the crease. On the corner of the eye, halfway across. Looks like I got a little less Rivers down here, so we're going to blend that out. There you go. So now you're going to have what looks like that. And let's get that on the other side too. Going from that inner corner, staying below that crease. Okay, now we're going to actually wrap that orange around the bottom, but we're going to do that when we get to the eyeliner part. So it will blend around to the under. We're just going to save that for just a minute. So give a look, make sure you got everything kind of even. And now we're going to use the other brush that we've got and just make sure that's all nice and cleaned off. And we are going to be using Batik here. Now, it's possible we may mix a little Batik with Motherland. Let's see what we got. Let's try the Batik just by itself first. No, I think Batik can hold its own. So we're going to bump that right up to that orange there on the bottom. And then, oops, got a little bit into beads. And then we're going to blend it up above. So we're going to use the pointy, the edge. And we're going to blend that in right on top and into that orange. There you go. And we're going to just connect them a little bit right there. So you can see you've got a little bit of a zigzaggy shape going on there. You see I got some green fallout from the Batik, so we're going to take this and we're just going to dust that away. Now that's like, seriously, we almost don't even need to do anything at all to that. I think I'm just going to double check it right here. I think we're pretty daggum good. And make sure that green goes all the way down to that lash line there. So let's go ahead and work on our liner, and then we'll come back to the shadow colors for on the bottom. So I am using, this is the Killer Liner Too Faced. This is in the color, I think it's called charcoal, Killer Black. Killer Black. So we're going to be using this. We're going to line the outside edge here just to about halfway, right about where that green is at. Same thing on the other side. And then we're going to do it on the bottom. We're going to go from the outside about halfway. There we go. Now let's go ahead and continue on with the eyeliner that we're working on. We are now going to switch to a smudger, and then we're just going to clean it off in between colors. So I am using, this is a Real Techniques. This is a smudge brush is what it's called. Let's see what the number is. 087. And we're going to be using just the front edge of that. So we're going to start out in the rivers and the Maasai, just like we were doing for that orange. We're going to wrap the orange around here to the bottom. There we go. Same thing on the other side. And if you need to bring that orange down just a little bit so that when it wraps around, it blends together, go ahead and do that. Why have I never done orange and green together before? Maybe I haven't, I just don't remember it. Very pretty. Okay, so now we're going to clean that brush off on that tissue we have in our lap, and we're going to, now that we have a clean tip, we're going to go into that Batik. And we're going to add that to the bottom other side right there. And just get it right up to that orange. All right. Now I super like, well, we're gonna add another color to the inside corner. Remember I told you that we were gonna be using the Afro Beats. That's gonna go on the inside corner, but let's go ahead and get our liner on first, and then we'll do that. So we're gonna grab our Too Faced Better Than Sex. This is our liquid liner. We are gonna be wearing lashes today. So we're gonna put that liner on so that we can cover any gap that might happen. Just give it a nice clean edge and also give you a trail, kind of a landing for where to land the plane. So we're gonna go from the outside corner to the inside corner. There we go. Just a nice, clean, smooth line. Same thing on the other side. Okay, now while we have done this with greens and oranges today, you could really do this with any two set of colors. So, you know, if your favorite color is like pink and blue, do that. Brown, maybe you're more of a neutral person and you want to do it a little more classic, then you could use like a tan and a brown, or maybe you could use a purple and a brown. Ooh, that'd be pretty, purple and a brown. All right. So now that we've got that on there, we're going to add a little bit of that shimmer to the inside corner. So we are going to grab that Afro Beads. Where's it at? Right there. We're going to use this right here, which is an Velvet Luxe Precision Eyeliner. It's the number 326. Just a little bit of that on the tip there. And we're just going to put this right in the corner. Oops, grabbed a little of Omega. Not sure what that will do. So we're just going to wrap that around here just a little bit. That's super pretty. I bet you that'd be pretty as a topper on top of the cheek too. We may play with that in a little bit. All right, so we've got a little bit of color going on in the corner just to kind of elevate that. Wow, that looks so pretty. Okay, so back to task. Okay, so now that we've got our liquid eyeliner on, we're going to do our brows. I got a little bit of pink happening up here still, so I'm going to be using the Jumbo Eye Pencil from NYX. This is the color, I think, Cupcake. And whatever your brow product is of choice, this is where you're going to do that. I know some people do their brows before, some people do their brows after. You know, again, this is just one of those personal preference things. I like it after just because you can make sure that it like blends right up to it and that your brow product is setting on the top of any shadows, not vice versa. So we're just going to get those brows done here. Filling in there. Making sure we got a nice shape and a nice tail. My brow's a little short, so I'm going to extend it a little bit past it. There we go. And then same thing on the other side. Just round that out and give it a nice tail. There we go. Okay, we're going to dust off one more time. Wow, I'm super loving this. Okay, I hope you are liking yours too. So we are going to be wearing a false lash today, but we need to get a little mascara on our lashes first. So I'm going to be using the Great Grip, no. Tweezer Man Onyx Great Grip Curler. I knew Great Grip was in there somewhere. So we're going to be doing that, and then we're going to be using the Bad Gal Bang. Oh, let me turn it this way. Bad Gal Bang. Water-resistant mascara does a great job of giving you a little bit of volume, but we're just going to get a little bit of color on there so that our lashes will blend in with the false lash as well. And then also we need to color those bottom lashes too. You can see like mine are sort of invisible. All right, so back to our lash curler here. We are going to be putting that lash curler on. We want it to, sorry, I'm trying to set up my verse here too. We want it to curl our lashes, but we don't want it to pinch our lid. So you're going to put it on, get your lashes threaded through that hole. And when you squeeze it down, you do not want your eyelid to be pinched at all in the lash curler. If it is, let it go, pull it forward just a little bit and try it again. This should not be a painful experience. And then also make sure you're not doing anything else while you're doing this, because you don't want to yank out any of your lashes either. So be careful, pay attention. You got this. Okay, so we're going to find that sweet spot. There we go. Got your sweet spot. And we're going to say that verse scrolling across the bottom of your screen, which is verse 8 together. Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the man who takes refuge in him. Psalm 34:8. That's a little short, so say it again. There we go. Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the man who takes refuge in him. Psalm 34:8. Now go to the other side. Find you that sweet spot. Make sure all your lashes are in there. There we go. Okay, and here we go. Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the man who takes refuge in him. Psalm 34:8. One more time. Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the man who takes refuge in him. There we go. And now we're going to grab that Bad Gal Bang and just stick a little mascara on there. Give us a little bit of color. There we go. Make sure you brush back on those tips. Now with this, because we're wearing the false today, we don't really need to worry about like getting a whole lot of volume out of it. The main point of the mascara is just to have your lashes be black like the lash strip we're fixing to put on. So you don't need to worry about too much about getting it perfect. But we do want to make sure we get all of it. There we go. And we're going to let that, and then we're going to do our bottom lashes. So same thing on the bottom lashes. Now the bottom lashes are not getting any falsies on there. So we do want to make sure that we're getting those pretty good. So I like to look up when I'm doing the bottom ones, just because I feel like it opens my eye up and lifts those lashes further from my cheek. So I have less of a chance of getting mascara on my face. And anything I can do to lessen that probability, the better. All right. So now we're going to put the mascara wand in, and then we will do the other side, which is always so much harder for me. There we go. If only I could ambidextrously, is that a word? Ambidextrously? If I was ambidextrous and I could put my mascara on with both hands, that would be amazing. But alas, that was not my gifting. Can any of you put your lashes, your mascara on with both hands? You can do it with both sides? No, I'm getting lots of no's. Okay. I'm going to take it I'm in good company for not having that gifting. Now, I do notice something here just a little bit. I'm actually going to take my fluffy brush there, and I'm going to dip it just a little bit in rivers, like a couple of taps. And I just want to blend that out a smidge. There we go. And yeah, I just used also the was it Rivers? Yeah, I just use that on the green side too. It worked perfectly fine. Now, if you want to, you can go ahead and grab whatever's left on your brush and do that a little bit with this too, just to kind of blend it out a smidge. Man, I just can't tell you. I am so excited about how that came out. And look at how blue my eyes look. If you have blue eyes, this is definitely going to be a good thing for you. Okay, so back to our task at hand. So I am going to be using today, this is the Kiss Lash. And this is the Luxe Extensions. And this is one of my favorites. This is Royal Silk. So Royal Silk is a nice curl. It is a curled lash. So you'll see you got a little bit of curl going on there. And things I like about this is the band is clear, so very comfortable, very lightweight, but you get a little bit of flare on this. So we're going to use our lash tool to grab the outside edge of the lashes there. And looks like I did not do a good job when I took these off the last time. So when you take your lashes off, your band is going to have a little glue residue left on it. And these are long enough. You can just kind of hold the lash and then remove the glue. Just make sure you're not tugging too much. But that's, I mean, there's a lash glue remover and you can be all about that if you want to. That is a little too much work for me. So I'm going to, again, grab that other lash on the other side. And then we're just going to do that same thing. I'm just going to hold the lash and then get that glue off. And usually, it's usually pretty easy to get it off. There's not like a bunch of glue on there. But you do, if you leave it on, I can usually do like 2 wears of the lashes without worrying about it. But it does have a much cleaner line if you do this every time you wear them. So that when you look down onto the lash, you'll see a nice, smooth, clean. Now, if you have like, see this right there, where there is a little bit of adhesive that has gone into the lash, take your lash brush, the lash comb, get your lash into the comb and then comb it out. That will help remove any adhesive that you have that isn't where you want it and give your lashes that clean look again. So just some kind of tips for you about lash care. These are flared. So one great thing about that is I can tell where the end is because the shorter lashes are going to go on the inside part. If your lashes are not a flared lash, then you definitely got to want to make sure that you are paying attention to them when you put them down in your tray. Your lash will form to the shape of, your lash will form to the shape of your eye. And so not everybody's eyes are exactly the same shape. So just pay attention to which way you're putting them in there so it's easy to get them back exactly the right way. These I've already wore a couple of times. If yours are fresh and new, you're going to want to make sure that when you pull them off the tray, you set them on your eye. Here, let me do it with my actual thing. Set them with your tool. Give a look and see if you need to trim it at all. If you do need to trim it, you're going to do that from the outside edge or the longer piece of the lash. And I see right here, I had a little transfer of something. So anyways, you're going to trim from the outside edge of the lash. Then you're going to want to take your lash band from both sides and do this. That's going to soften it up a little and help it to form to the shape of your eye. And you will do that same thing with both of them. And depending on the lash, these are a nice clear band, so you don't have to worry about it. But depending on the lash band, if it's a little more firm, then you might want to do the lash curling like every single time you wear them. So I'm going to be using the Idole. This is the 18-hour glue. So I'm going to grab that lash band right there in the center. We're going to take that lash adhesive and that's going to go on the edge of the band. And then we're going to flip it kind of on its side a little bit and get it on the inside edge of that band. This is just going to help those lashes to for sure stay where you want them. We're going to make sure that we pay special attention to the adhesive on the outside corners of that lash band so we do not end up with any lifting. So again, lash band in, or lash wand in, glue on that top, and then flip it over and glue on that back edge. And then we're making sure that we got the inside corner really good and the outside corner. And we're going to let that set for just a second. When you first put the adhesive on, it's going to be shiny and white. And as it sets a little bit, it is going to lose its shininess, get a little bit on the clearer side, and then also the tackiness is going to increase, similar to when you super glue something. So we want to give it just a minute, like maybe 30, 20 seconds to set before we try to put them on. Okay, now I don't remember which one I did first. So grab the one that you did first, which I think was this one. And we're going to put that lash right there in the middle. Make sure that you're paying attention to, I think this is the inside corner. Okay, we're going to set that down right there in the middle of that lash line, right on that black liner that you put. And then we're going to walk that lash around to the inside corner. And then the outside corner. Setting it right on that line you did. And you should feel the adhesive. It should feel a little bit cold and wet, but not like a tremendous amount. And then we're going to make sure that they are close together. So we're going to take that lash tool and just blend them. I always double check the inside corner like a bazillion times because that's where lifting will usually happen. I'm going to take the tip of that and just work my lashes into the false lash. Okay, now if you look at the two sides, you can see how much that lash opened up my eye and just really gave a finished look to the eyeshadow. So now we're going to grab the lash on the other side. Also, in looking down, you can see how clean that line looks because I cleaned up those lashes. So I'm going to grab the other one in the center and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Setting it right down in the middle. Set that right down on that eyeliner. Walk this one right down to that eyeliner. Then we're going to make sure that they are close together. We are one happy family down here. There we go. And we're going to take our tip. Make sure that our lashes are blending into the false lashes. There we go. Go ahead and get that. There we go. Double checking the corner on the other side. There we are. Okay. Woo. Now my eye is watering just a tad over here. So I'm going to take the corner of that and just kind of dab that. What's a good makeup application without a little bit of tearing up? Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and say our verse for this week together. Now we know that really it's all the verses is what we're going to be working on. But for right now, we're just specifically looking at verse 8, what is scrolling across the bottom of your screen. Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. No, wait. Hold on. I did this every time. So the Lord's good. Okay. Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the man who takes refuge in him. Psalm 34:8. It's almost like singing the alphabet. You have to start at the beginning. You can't start like M. Yeah, I know, right? Okay. Okay, so now that we have got our makeup done, we're going to go ahead and make sure we've dusted off everything right there. And I seriously want to see what I'm going to take. Okay, this is an experiment, guys. I'm going to take a highlighter brush, and that color that we used on the inside corner there, what was that called? That was called Beats. What was it? Afro Beats. This one right here. I'm seriously going to take this. I'm just going to get a little bit on there, and I just want to do a little bit on here. Ooh. Look at that. Okay, you don't have to do that. That's a freebie, but that was just such a pretty color. I just wanted to see. You can see that? Yeah, just give me a nice little shine right there. Nice. Okay, so back to where we were. So now that we have got everything on our face, we are ready to go. Now we are ready to set it and have it last all day long. So I'm using the Juvia's Place. This is the Ready, Set, Sealed. We're just going to give it a little bit of a shake, and then just give us a spray and a fan down. All right. And now we are good to go for the rest of the day. Okay, so thank you so much for hanging out with me today. It has been a delight to share this with you, to experience some orange and green together and some culture too. So I look forward to seeing you throughout this week on social media and hanging out with you. Let's go ahead and take a look at our review verse here. I believe this is where we're going to go. Here we go. Let's see if we can get that going. All right. Well, I just love being able to review these verses with you. And just a reminder that we have coming up, it is going to our beta readers. It has had a once over, and now we're looking at a twice over. This is going to be season 3. This is Color Me James. So I should have something ready for you to where you can pre-order that and get ready for that. I'm super excited to be able to share that with you. That is just going to be such a journey. That is going to be almost, it's not quite a year long, but it's going to be just about a year. And at the end of that, we will have memorized the entire book of James together. So I am super excited to get to share that with you and look forward to that so much. Can't even begin to explain to you how much I'm looking forward to that. So you can find a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus on your favorite podcast platform. Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Podbean, Facebook, Instagram, you get it. It's like all over the place. So I look forward to seeing you throughout the week this week. And let's just go out with a blessing this week. If you know this, please feel free to sing that with me, say it with me, you know, whatever makes you happy. Let me make sure we got the right one going. Yes, there we go. Okay. The Lord bless you and keep you, make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift his face toward you and give you peace. Oh, Heavenly Father, how thankful I am for each one of the women that have hung out with me here today, whether they are watching it live or they are hanging out later on. I am so thankful for that, God. And I just pray that you would be with us throughout this week, that you would help us to celebrate having gone through that psalm together, and that we would continue to work on that and memorize that together, that they would be words that would come to us when we need moments of encouragement, when we need reminders, and that they would be ready to us and available when we're talking with those around us, that we can edify and encourage them as well. Father, I just pray that you would help these verses to be a part of who we are, that we would treasure them and hide them in our hearts. And I just pray that you would help us to go out this week with beauty on the outside and beauty on the inside. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Well, it has been a delight to hang out with you here today, and I look forward to seeing you throughout this week on social media. Goodbye and God bless. Mwah!